All right. Once again, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this training on mastering the EOSC Helpdesk, training for providers and support teams. My name is Andreas. I'm from Arctic, and I will be taking care of hosting duties during this workshop. As per usual, the contents of this workshop are the practical session will be made available after its conclusion, as will the slides provided by our trainers. We encourage you to ask whatever questions you have, and we hope that you will find this session useful. I will leave the word now to our trainers, beginning, of course, with Pavel Weber from the Karlsruhe Institute of Technology, who will be covering the beginning of the presentation. We also have for you a Slido, which I will share now with you in the chat. Just keep an eye on it and feel free to use it during the presentation to ask whatever questions you have, as well as presenting your updates in the poll included within. Without further ado, let's begin. Over to you, Pavel.
Thank you, Andreas, for this nice introduction. I hope you see my slides, and welcome to this training session also from my side, and thank you for joining this session. Let's jump to agenda. I will talk about Helpdesk in the EOSC, and I will start with a general introduction on a Helpdesk in modern IT infrastructure. Then we come to the capabilities and workflows of the EOSC Helpdesk, and we will also have a practical session in this part of the training. We have for a few minutes for Q&A, and after we come probably to the most important part on integration with Helpdesk for providers, and we have a few minutes to see the examples of integration and first experiences presented by the representatives of the EOS communities. And finally, I hope we will have a few minutes for Q&A and final discussion. So let's start. I would like to start with very basics. I think you all know in general what is a Helpdesk, and still I would like to give an introduction and a definition. So a Helpdesk is a software tool or team of agents that provides support for the customers and users for the organization in resolution of their problems, technical incidents, or questions related to the products and services of the organization. This is a basic definition. Sometimes it is mixed with another definition, which is a service desk. A service desk is a one-stop shop between customers and service organizations with broad range of support functions, typically tightly integrated with IT services and business processes of organization. So you see basically that this definition provides broader description of the service desk. So the service desk is something which is more tightly integrated with IT services, more tightly integrated in the processes, and also provides more functions than the help desk. We stick in this training session to the help desk, and in the EOSC environment it's really hard to achieve the full integration with all the services. So I think the help desk is still the proper terminology to use. And I will continue and say that behind each service there is a process, and behind also help desk there is a process. And before I name the process, I would like to give also the definition of the process according to FITSM, which is a set of standards for lightweight IT service management. The process is a set of activities that bring about specific objective or set of results from a set of defined inputs. There are several other things we can include in the process. So this is objectives, policies, procedures, basically how the activities will be implemented, what are the instructions, input and outputs in the definition of the process, and the roles, so that you have to assign different roles to different people to implement the process. And in this presentation, we are talking about incident service request management. This is the major process which using the help desk to facilitate its goals. And the objective of the incident service request management is to restore normal agreed service operation within the agreed time after occurrence of an incident, and to respond to user service requests. It's also, I think it's a trivial definition. Still, I would like to give you a definition of the incident. This is unplanned disruption of the operation in a service or degradation of service quality. And also a definition of the service request, and which is request for information, advice, access to a service or pre-approved change. And the typical example is the request to reset the password or to extend the storage. Okay, now we come to the help desk activities within this process. So how the help desk facilitates the process, what are the main inputs and what are the outputs. So the inputs actually provided by the access channels. So we have several access channels defined on the left side. So the major access channel for the help desk is phone calls. When I have a problem with my internet provider, with internet, I call my internet provider, and typically the line is busy. They send me to the service portal to submit the request, and then it could be that I stumble across the chatbot. After useless discussion with chatbot, it comes to proposal to submit, to contact directly the help agent via email. Sometimes there is a chat, a live chat, and so I just described the typical workflow where basically all access channels involved. I put here also other tool, which is a walk-up desks. Is basically when you come to the office and ask for advice, and also sort of exotic channel. It's a forum or any discussion board where it's also can be, which is also can be used for the help. After the ticket submitted via one of these channels, it will be recorded, classified, prioritized, analyzed, in some cases escalated, and finally resolved. And as the output of this process, there is a set of records. So the incident records, the service request records, identified problems, request for change, request for improvement. So all these outputs can be used as the input for the next processes. For example, it can be used as a source for problem management, for change management, for the service continuous improvement process. But this is already out of the scope of this presentation. Just want to show you that the help desk can be really useful in the IT infrastructure, and it's actually when integrated with other processes, it provides very useful information to them. So what are the help desk benefits? I put here the major benefits, which, for example, process-driven help and support for users and customers. So the help provided by for the users is sort of structured, and in this way that the quality of the help is higher, which basically leads to the increased customer satisfaction and increased productivity. So the people your customers get good answers or on their requests, or the incidents solved very quickly and efficiently, so that in this way you increase the productivity of your users and customers. The benefits also affect entire organization. So you have a better collaboration, communication within the organization. You could better structure the support units, and you also gain a holistic view on the organization. You understand who does what and where to assign the tasks, and so on. So, which leads to finally to the improved service delivery and operations. And this brings again to the fact that the organization can be scaled up by optimizing and automating operations. Of course, this is not for free, so there is some effort to be given to achieve this all these benefits which I described. And we have also major challenges, and we start with the definition of process. This is the first challenge, where you have to define the policies, procedures, workflows, precisely agreed across the organization. Then you have to find appropriate software technology, train your support team, and that means basically organizational change. So the people have to get to the new way of working, to the new software, and it takes time, and the learning curve sometimes not very steep. And when everything is done, another challenge is to get customer tickets answered and resolved in agreed time. So there should be some commitment from all team. They should find time to do basically this support work. Now that was basically benefits and challenges within the simple organization. Now on top of that, we come to the EOSC, and in EOSC we have another challenges, and they're coming from the distributed EOSC environment. So where we have multiple organizations, multiple communities, service providers. We have because of this distributed environment, we have to align the processes and procedures. So even if they are defined, there could be different definitions across different organizations. There are interoperability issues. You have to perform organizational changes, define support groups, agree who work with whom. And finally, you also have a technical challenge, which is work on integration with multiple EOSC services. So you would like to integrate the help desk in multiple services. You would like to improve the user journeys. For that, you need to analyze them, develop integration scenarios, agree on different mapping schemes, and so on. So these challenges come on top of the generic challenges or challenges within the single organization. Another challenge, which I call dream of self-service, is given on this page. So this chart kindly provided by MetricNet, a company, which is US company working on performance benchmarking and IT consulting. And this chart shows the history of the evolution of different access channels. So you see, we don't go too much into detail. I just want to show you the major interesting points here. So you see the voice channel, which was used for I think it's 14 years ago. It's constantly goes down, the usage of the voice channel. Instead, we see the chat channel and web submit. This is gray and blue. They're increasing, which is also expected. What is interesting to see from this chart is the self-service is basically stagnating. So the access channel, probably many of you heard before that we will have a self-service which will solve all our problems, so that the users don't need to submit a ticket. They will find all the answers in the knowledge bases or somewhere. This is not the case. So this is basically a constant usage, and it's not really increasing, which shows basically the trend to the chart. And this is also in agreement with the latest news on the artificial intelligence, because we know that we won't find so many people constantly to answer the questions from the users, but the users like to use chat and ask questions and expect to get quick answers. So I think this is will be a rapidly developed field in the artificial intelligence connected to the chat bots for the help desk. Still, I also think that there is nothing wrong to develop further the knowledge bases, because to structure your tickets and put the in the knowledge bases the most interesting answers, because you need some information to train your artificial intelligence and chatbots. So you will have on one side you have the volume of tickets, sort of unstructured data. On the other side, very well structured knowledge bases, and this, I think, this will increase the efficiency of the chatbots. So these conclusions I draw from this interesting plot done on lots of data, mostly coming from the industry service desks. Okay, so this was my introduction to the major benefits and challenges in the IT infrastructure with respect to the help desk. And now I come to the next point, which is main capabilities and workflows of the EOSC Helpdesk in the EOSC. So here is just a reference card, which shows a few points of interaction with the EOSC Helpdesk. This presentation will be available, will be published later, so you can check it and use this information later. I would like again to say a few words about the access channels. So we have in EOSC Helpdesk, we have email, Helpdesk dashboard, feedback forms, and also Telegram messenger, for example, to submit the tickets. And we deploy the help desk based on the open source technology developed by Zamat company. And I would like to say a few words about this technology, about the benefits of this software. So it's I think it's a nice software. It provides modern view and interactive communication between customers, agents, and it has lots of possibilities for customization, to define different kinds of filters, also automation, automatic ticket assignment, automatic escalation procedure, and so on. And it has also detailed built-in statistics and reporting, so you can really track your tickets and statistics on them. You could integrate Grafana to get in-depth analysis of your performance of your help desk. There are plenty of integrations with other services out of the box. For example, integration with GitLab and GitHub. Help desk security is also at rather developed level. So there is SMIME support, so you can encrypt and sign your answers in the tickets. You have access history, connected devices, and so on. And finally, there is also a knowledge base integrated with a help desk, and we'll come to it in the practical part of this presentation, which I think, okay, one more slide on the current status. So about the EOSC Helpdesk. So currently the EOSC Helpdesk deployed on premise at KIT, and it was deployed last year. Last year we went into production, and currently we have more than 500 registered users. The number of agents is around 70. We have around 60 support groups, and the ticket rate for EOSC environment is about 30 tickets. Okay, here I'm talking about EOSC Future actually. This is tickets related to the EOSC Future project is about 30 tickets, and the total ticket rate is 150 tickets per month. On this picture, you see multiple organizations integrated in the Helpdesk and using it as a service. We have several integrations with the external Helpdesk. It's like a integration with GIGAS EGI, Helpdesk for EGI, UDAT Helpdesk. We are almost finished with the integration with OpenEar Helpdesk, and continue integration with LifeWatch. Eric.
Any participants may send a questions on slido.com using the hashtag that was provided earlier. So that would be hashtag 3282751. That's 3282751. So feel free to provide what questions you might have. We do have one question sent in. The question being, is the usage of the EOSC Helpdesk a requirement for services onboarded in the EOSC marketplace, or will it be sometime?
No, absolutely no. This is excluded. There is no this will be never the case that anyone will be forced to use the Helpdesk in any possible way. So the only thing which is basically recommended, that if you are interested, if you don't have a Helpdesk, you can try to use it. Okay, now I see also this question with some delay. Yes, so this will never be the case. It could be that you could also, if you have your own Helpdesk, you could also try to integrate. I come to this in the next presentation to this use cases, but there is no obligation or requirement for that. So we don't want to enforce anyone to that. So this is just absolutely free. Okay, so we don't have more questions up to now.
None that I can see. Following up the previous question, is onboarding necessary to adopt with the Helpdesk?
I think that this in this scope, what we are presenting here, it's supposed that the service provider is part of the EOSC onboarded list of the service providers. So I think it's a prerequisite that that you first get your service provider on board on the EOSC, and then you can adopt the Helpdesk connected to the EOSC Helpdesk or use it. So if I understand the question. I see another question. Does the person who sends a ticket in the EOSC Helpdesk needs an account? So this is not required. So the point is that you can send you can send a ticket via the email, via web form. Later, it will be several other possibilities. The point is that you provide your email, and when you send the ticket, your email is automatically registered in the help desk. So in this way, the help desk gets the request and knows about you, because this is needed to answer your request, because you don't need an account. There is an account actually created for you in the help desk, but you can use it. You can log into the help desk. You can just stay and communicate with the help desk via the email. It's fine. So you don't explicitly, you don't need to create an account to submit any request. You just send an email. But of course, you can request to delete your email and your ticket afterwards. After the ticket is processed, and all the data according to GDPR can be deleted on your request. If a service plans to use the EOS Helpdesk, will that service get its own XAML environment? This is exactly the next presentation about the integration options, what you get, which options you can use when you express your interest, because we have multiple options. And I think to answer this question, I just go to the presentation instead of just saying here something which I will show you in my next slides. I think this is a good question to continue, and I think the time is up for the Q&A session, so we can continue, Andres. So I will start with my next slides on integration with Helpdesk for providers. So this is basically the major part for this training session. And I start with a question again, why to integrate? And because this question comes again and again. We have basically two initial situations. We can consider initial situation for small provider organization or for big organization. The reasons to integrate could be different. So for small provider organization, this is typically a small group which has one service, one mailing list, resources limited. And in big organizations, the situation is a bit different. There are multiple groups and divisions, multiple services or infrastructures, and normally help desk system is in place. So big organization doesn't need to use the EOS help desk, because they have their help desks and also process to manage the requests of their users. So for the small organization, the benefits is the consistent help desk experience for users. So if you connect to the EOS help desk, you basically could provide better experience for users if you don't have help desk. You could also focus on more professional delivery of the services, and you don't need to run your own help desk. You can use the EOS help desk on as a service, and I will come to that. This is exactly was the question. I will come to that with my next slides, what I mean by using help desk as a service. For the big organizations, I think there is interest in instant interaction with other EOS players. They could gain wider audience, more users, and avoid working in silos. And for that they can integrate their own help desk, or still also request the EOS help desk as a service. So this is the slide I showed several times, and I have more to explain. Just to start with, we have three major integration options. This is direct usage. So you use the or your community using the help desk as a service. The second is the integration option is ticket redirection, where the tickets just sent via the EOS help desk to your help desk. And In the full integration, you have your own help desk, this is prerequisite, and then you perform the bidirectional synchronization. So you integrate your help desk with the EOS help desk. That means that only part of your help desk becomes visible for EOS help desk, but basically one group which is synchronized. All tickets coming in that group will be synchronized with the EOS help desk. The rest stay, of course, invisible for EOS help desk and vice versa. So now to this is more informative slide how to start. Just send a request that you are interested using these different options. I won't stay here too long. And now I come to the most interesting part. So what is the help desk delivery as a service, and which options do we have? So there are two options. So you can use the help desk as a service by getting the community space. So this is this blue option. So you get a space in the existing EOS help desk. You will get soon, this is not yet in production, a portal, dedicated portal with for users with the logo and of your organization. You get a control on multiple support groups, but the rest will be basically hidden. So the customization is limited. So you will have such limited environment where you can manage your users. You can get tickets from in dedicated channel, and this is okay for basically if you don't want something fancy and just have, you need some channel and say, okay, I'm done, and that's I get it, and the users know where to submit tickets, and that's fine. The red option, so you get out from this virtual environment, so you get the real help desk instance, you get the full control and customization. So you get the full help desk instance identical to the EOSC help desk instance, and there you have your full control. I will come to a bit more in detail in my next slide. Here again, for the blue option, where you have still can configure the minimum configuration, where you get only the number of support groups. In advanced configuration, you still define the escalation procedures. You can define the different filters. So there are several things to customize also in this, so to say, help desk space, which we'll get as a part of the EOSC help desk space. If you get your full instance, complete help desk instance, then of course you will get the administrator access to it. So you are free to customize whatever you want in this help desk. And the point is that you have the responsibility in that case. We provide the automatic backups. So if you screw it up, then we can restore it, but that's it. So we have a limited support. So you basically take responsibility to manage this in this case. And okay, this is this third option, which is full integration. And you could still post the questions, which we can then answer after this presentation, if you have, or we come to that during the Q&A session. In the full integration, there are also two options, and this is also initial situation. The provider is using Zamat instance, so basically the same technology which is used by the EOSC helpdesk now. This is quite straightforward to synchronize. So you just need to create a group. You add an agent and share credentials of this agent with EOSC helpdesk team, so that we can basically integrate. We have prepared already the environment for integration. for that, so you don't need to do any additional technical work in that case. If you have for other type of the help desk technology, then you have to be sure that it supports REST API, and based on the REST API documentation, we will enable the integration, but this takes a bit longer. And in this slide, I just summarize different options and how long it could take to the implementation time, basically the duration of the implementation time. So help desk as a service, as we discussed, we have two options. You use the help desk space, and you can get the full instance if your organization is large enough and requires that. And for that, for implementation of the help desk space, you basically need 1-2 days for to get the instance. Currently, it's I think it's a 1 week, and but this time will, of course, will go down in the next months. Forwarding, I didn't talk too much about that because this is very simple thing, so that you just say that you would like to receive some tickets via the help desk, EOSC help desk channel, and it's easy to arrange. For the full integration, if you have a Zamat instance, it's currently, I think it's a 1 week with all the things, so we need still to test to ensure that everything is working. We need some agree on mapping of the ticket fields, and the most technically complex case is when you have some other technology for the help desk, and this could take 2 months to integrate with that. And of course, we consider very much the GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation, and for any integration with the EOSC help desk, we consider at least 2 documents: data processing agreement and DPA and joint control agreement. And this is these are being prepared, so they exactly what the content. So this is basically we do it together. So you get a document to check, and then only after, if you agree that that this can be signed, this is required by GDPR. We cannot do much here, so we have to accompany the integration, technical integration, with these documents, or one of them, depends on the case. So this, I don't want to go too much into detail now, because this is a topic for additional training, not training, but maybe just additional webinar. And but this is you can take as a consideration. And that brings me to the end of my presentation. And Andreas, we can proceed with the next items in agenda.
That goes without question for me, except that we do have one last question from the audience, namely whether there is any relation between the EOSC helpdesk with GGUS being both helpdesk systems, and should an EOSC service provider adopt one, the other, or both?
The GGUS system is managed and hosted also at KIT, and there is a relation. So the EOSC helpdesk is integrated with the GGUS. The purpose of the GGUS is a bit different. It's not a helpdesk for EOSC community, for EOSC environment. Is basically a helpdesk for grid support in WLCG environment, World LHC Computing Grid, as many of you know. And no, you don't need to basically to take care about the GGUS. The GGUS technology is old, and next year we consider to replace it. So it will be replaced with the same technology which we are using for EOSC. So this is a statement I can tell you, although it's still in production. Yes, so there is a relation in terms of that the KIT is also providing the gigas. I'm not involved in the delivery of the gigas. I know also something about gigas, and this information I can give you.
All right, I believe there are no further questions at this time, so we are free to proceed.
We have a question in the chat.
In the chat, correct. The question being from Dirk, Service X has an EOSC Helpdesk space where tickets on certain topics have been resolved, and for Service Y with a different EOSC Helpdesk space, same type of ticket has been included. Will the answer to the ticket in Service X be somewhere to cite?
Sorry, the last word I didn't get. What will be the answer?
I can clarify my question, because it's quite
great.
difficult if I put it in the chat.
That's fine.
If there are two different services, each having their own EOSC Helpdesk space, but there is already a ticket that's very similar to, for example, the ticket in the other service, will that answer to that ticket be somewhere to quickly give an answer? Or will every helpdesk space be its own private environment where the answers to the tickets are contained?
So in general, we start with a private environment so that this spaces, they're not connected, they're disentangled, so that if you have your space, the other organizations or EOSC agents, they don't see your tickets coming, because the also channel is also different. And there will be possibility, of course, if you would like to share the tickets. So the idea of the whole environment, that you have multiple help desk, multiple spaces, and they communicate to each other. So you can reassign ticket if you see that this ticket is for something different or related to some different area. You can first push to the EOSC central help desk, and after you can basically reassign it to any other organization, if this organization, of course, provides this possibility. So you will have several groups shared where you can push the ticket, or not shared, but at least the point, the context to level 1, and then you just reassign the ticket to them. If I understand your question, did I understand, or still there's something you would like to clarify?
Yeah, I think it works as well, but I think there's two different things we're talking about now. Because on the one hand, okay, so let's say I get a ticket, I don't know the answer, I push it to another space that they can answer that question. But on the other hand, there might also be, I think Nanette put it in the chat, a knowledge base with general answers to tickets that have been asked in the past, right? Because you, in your demo, you showed if you do a double question mark, you can get some
exactly
answer,
yeah,
right?
this is a very good question about the knowledge base. This is on I don't put it here because this is not a basically a session on the roadmap of the help desk. I tried to provide information what is currently available. Our next basically connect the knowledge bases, so that we will first improve the knowledge base, and after we will multiple knowledge bases. So this is planned. So this integration, if you get some space in the EOSC, you will
apologies, you are breaking a bit, so I don't know.
domain. So for you, it will be like a separate knowledge base. So there will be a possibility to enable the
Pavel, can you repeat that? Because I think for everyone you were stuck.
Sorry. Yeah, I saw them. Sorry, I gather also a message from Zoom about unstable connection. I don't know where you lost me. Do you hear me now?
Can hear you now.
So
about
there will be a
minute ago, I think, like 40 seconds. We lost him.
Yeah.
What I showed. Sorry.
Yeah, I probably lost you again. You're breaking now at this point.
I don't think it's the right moment to stay. So maybe you can move to the next two presentations and then you reply when you have better connection.
Yeah.
I stop at least the presentation, and I can also stop the video. Do you hear me now or still not?
I think it's better if we progress with the presentations and then you reply.
Okay, yeah.
We don't forget to reply.
Let's continue, of course.
About the roadmap of the.
Yeah, of course. Let's continue. Andreas, can you then continue the next presentations?
I think that works just fine.
I think the next is the Joshua. So we come to the section of the example of integrations and first experiences. Joshua?
Yes, can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Pavel. Okay, so my name is Joshua Tetelkansi from CESDA. I'm the technical officer for CESDA, with, among other things that I do, in charge of CESDA's service portfolios, ensuring that there's proper management of the services lifecycle, and also ensure that our services are properly listed or registered in some other external catalog or systems like EOS. For those who don't know who we are, CESDA is a consortium for European Social Science Data Archives. We are ERIC. ERIC is European Research Infrastructure Consortium, and we are 22 members and with one service providers. We have a number of services that we have, and currently we are 3 of our services onboarded on EOS. But like Pavel already said, you don't need to onboard services to use Helpdesk or have some integration, particularly with the Helpdesk. But for some other integration like monitoring, you will need to get your services onboarded to have a basic monitoring of services. But for emphasis of today, we are on Helpdesk and how Pavel made mention of 3 instances, and we adopted one of the instances as using Helpdesk as a service. And I'm here to give my impression on how far the integration has been. All right, so what's our use case? So we, just like any other, we use our use cases for incident management. We have incidents and we want to know where the incidents are coming from and how we can manage them. Before then, we use email, and we get sometimes our issues get lost. We also need some other things comes up with service requests. When we have some service requests, we need some system to be able to manage that. And then the third one is a request management, request gathering. Pavel said one of the outputs for Helpdesk is use it for request for change and request for improvement. So we need a system where we can gather all our requests for service improvement, and we need a system for that. So what are the abduction process? So in the first abduction process, we have to model our use cases, like the use cases I did mention, and then we happen to use some framework of IT service management framework, and here we do happy to use FitSM, which happens to be the standard that EOS has also adopted, and it's quite easy and has templates that we can import and use straightforward, unlike some other framework like ITIL. So we're using that, and inside that we have incident service request management, as Pavel did explain earlier, and we have some few things that we got out of FitSM. It's a standard, so it's a standard. So they are templates. So templates for us to record, classify, or prioritize issues. They are templates for incident review and incident escalation procedures that we can adopt. So we've adopted that. And then we need a system to kind of run all these processes. So that's how can we opt for EOSC Helpdesk. So with the EOSC Helpdesk, it's, as Pavel already says, we created our part. We just created a namespace within the EOSC that we can manage our own private space. So tickets that's coming onto our organization does not interfere with some other namespaces, as Pavel already mentioned, doing explanation of the integration options that they have. What are the typical health workflows? So here we have a user, for example, who has two options. So first option, he can send our option through support, which is generic. It goes into our first help. Or we've also implemented what we call a service feed. Services feedback form, which we got from the Zamat system that we actually integrated into our services. So the user can either send tickets through the support that goes directly into our first line incident, or goes onto the service web page. There's a feedback form. He can submit ticket as well, and also comes onto the EOS help system. So it comes onto the EOS Helpdesk system. So whatever way. So here, the 2B, we have different groups or different queues for our services. We created different queues for our services where when a user submits, it goes straight onto the service queue. And we do have service owners. So our service owners are people they are in charge of our service, making sure that the service are fit for use and also fit for purpose. So so make sure that they give they answer queries to wherever queries is coming from. And within the Zamet, we can move our tickets. So so if unfortunately tickets happens to fall in some other queue, the Zamet system is flexible enough. We can move tickets back and forth to other tickets that we can use. And then the next process, the service owners then classify the issue, whether it's a request or whether it's an incident, and then they prioritize the issue, they assign it to whoever is responsible, and then they cruise the issue. So these are our own customized workflow that we have with Zamet. And I don't know, some other persons may have different workflows, but this is our typical workflow that we have here with CESTA. And then when this is resolved, and automatically email will be sent to wherever the issue is coming from, whether it's coming from the feedback or an user that has just sent email to support. He gets a feedback on the particular issue. So before I end my presentation, so far it's been well. It's quite customizable. We can customize our things easier for us. We can trigger conditions that for example, to reduce some kind of noise within the system. So if there's too much thing that we don't need, there are conditions within Zamath system but that we can customize to reduce that noise. And like I said earlier, we can customize our own workflow. We don't have to rely on the default workflow that Zamath provided. We can customize our own workflow. And also, like I did say, we do have integration within a web form that users can send their incident or request through the web form system that goes straight into the helpdesk system. And then we have our escalation procedures, and then also gives us some nice reporting as to how many queues we have resolved and so on and so forth. But we do have some concerns. We are integrating into EOSC Helpdesk, and as organization, as infrastructure, we are concerned about data privacy. So this is one of the things that is ongoing. We are having discussion with the partners of the EOSC Helpdesk to kind of sign some data processing agreements within them. So we will be sure that whatever information that goes into their system is not compromised or kind of. So that's our integration so far. If you have any other question for me, I'm ready to take them. Thank you.
Okay, I think I'm the one to present. I'm just trying to share the screen if you can give me permissions. It's Pedro.
Thank you, Pedro. Andreas, could you give permissions for Pedro to? And thank you, Joshua. I don't see any questions for you so far. Let's start
I'm
with.
ready to take any questions.
Let's start
with
this.
Okay. We can move to the second, so let's say use case example.
Yes.
I think, and then from the two examples, I think we can have questions. So the other is so the integration from the open-air infrastructure. So you all know open-air. So in fact, in the current catalog marketplace, there are 23 services onboarded. So the different kinds of services from the open-air portfolio. So from the discovery service, Explore, till the Argos, the MP solution, or even the provider's dashboard from open-air. And in fact, we have the Open Science Helpdesk running since a while, almost since the beginning of open-air. But we can say that in the structure that we have currently since 2011-12. So, and usually we say that the Helpdesk is not only a ticket system, is also different components with the support materials, the guidance, and also the face-to-face support that we can give in different ways. But in the past, we also support a lot the AC open science policies implementations, and we did a lot of support in the development of open access infrastructures, open access policies in the different European countries via our national open access desks. But we can say that we still do some support on this area, but we are more focused on the support and guidance on the portfolio of services that we have. In terms of the ticket system, until last year, we use a quite mature and robust helpdesk service that was an extension of Joomla, because our website was based on Joomla CMS, and we use a quite interesting extension that also have different capabilities related with FAQs, knowledge base, for example. But our focus was on having a ticket system with a quite decentralized way, so people can put questions from a specific country that was answered by our national open access desk person in charge of that. So now we have a more centralized approach, let's say, but now we move to use Zamath system. There are different reasons why we did it. So Pavel already made some comments about the software, the open source software Zamad, and in fact, when we decided to move from that extension to a specific instance, a standalone system, we decided in a different solution, open source solution. But then when we start the conversations in EOSC Future and we start comparing and pros and cons and the benefits, we come up with to decide to use Zamad and not the other solution that we already decided. It's easy to configure, so also the user permissions by groups is quite interesting when we have really a lot of people involved in the different let's say queues or groups to reply to specific questions. Let's say that we have product managers for different services, different people in charge, and this will also give us some very good flexibility. And also the distant channels to receive tickets is also some really very good, that we can have the different forms as already Pavel presented. And then the reporting is also interesting. So what we have, and in fact, we don't have a lot to say because the things are so easy to implement. And congratulations to Pavel and to the team to build these different options to integrate. So we don't have an help desk as a service, and we don't have a forward way. So we have this full integration, so quite easy, as we have the option, I think, one because both are Zamad systems. So we have this user request and this bidirectional synchronization. We are not forwarding tickets, messages, so we have this synchronization. So of course, as we have also we are using Zamad, so this was the let's say a quick win and the main reason for adopting this option in terms of implementation. The advantage is this full bidirectional synchronization between both help desks, and we can easily reply to the tickets and manage, and having people in charge, the agents, people in charge of replying to the different requests that we may have. And it's important to say that the requests can come from the service related with training until the issues in managing a specific technical issue in Argus or in a completely different system. So and as we have this synchronization in the easy way to manage both systems and to the agents to proceed, so it's that we can ensure the agreements that we have with the users, and we can ensure a timely response to the requests that we receive. So I think it's all. We just have here like a kind of print screen to show, in fact, what we tested in the practical exercise that Pavel proposed to us. So this interaction that we can in fact have, and you can see. So this is all we want to say. This is nothing so hard. I think it's good is that the structure and the implementation was well prepared and well thought, I think. And so now it's just a question of putting into practice. And I think this is a good example. This full synchronization is a good example to the different infrastructures interact with EOSC.
Thank you, Pedro, for this nice summary. And thank you, Joshua. I hope you hear still. We have one question to Pedro. Should I read it? You mentioned that before adopting Zamad, you were considering another open source solution. Would you mind disclosing which one?
It was OTRS. So we analyzed several ones. We came up with OTRS. because we also, some of us also use it in different contexts in the institutional contexts. So I put it in the chat.
Thank you.
It's a question about the reporting, which is interesting. In fact, the reporting, I don't think we saw the reporting. This question about the reporting is interesting. And we never thought about that. So we see I suppose, in both systems, Pavel, and I'm also asking Andre, we can see the numbers and the analysis in terms of time to response, etc. In both systems. So it's let's say that we have a duplication of information in terms of reporting is a duplication of information, because the full integration, it means that we have a ticket that is open in one system and it is open in the other system and it's closed at the same time. So the information from the reports is based on this synchronization. So it's the same.
In fact, yes. Yeah. If you have 100 tickets synchronized, you will get it in reporting on both systems. I don't know if it's something wrong with that. Probably no.
No. Then the other question is, there is a question also about
the only other question in the chat so far
the knowledge
was
base.
the one on the shared knowledge base, indeed.
Yes, then Pavel can also reply. I will just give a comment because I forget to mention it in the first slide, and just to share the experience from OpenAir from the past, because when we move also from, I don't remember if it was from OpenAir Plus to OpenAir 2020, we discarded the knowledge base that we have built. The knowledge base is quite useful. It's quite useful in this kind of services, but sometimes we need to consider in terms of effort. In that moment, we decided to discard the knowledge base and just to put our effort in a good set of FAQs, because we thought, okay, FAQs will solve all our problems, and the knowledge base will support. But we decided in that time to discard. But of course, knowledge base is great because we can in fact reuse a reply that we gave in the ticket to populate a base, let's say. But Pavel, I don't know I don't know the roadmap of EOSC Future. So
yeah, I'm sorry if I don't know. I hope now you hear me
it's good.
better. So to say short, because we don't have much time, so we want to integrate the knowledge bases. So first we want to also to provide the multiple knowledge bases to the people who will use the EOSC Helpdesk. So you get a separate knowledge base area, and then they will be integrated that you can, on your wish, connect the search with knowledge base from the EOSC. So for example, user has an option to find first the information within your knowledge base, and then you can extend the user can extend the search and look in the wider, so to say, knowledge base, which is integrated with the knowledge base provided in addition to the to your help desk space. And if you use the help desk instance as better described, a separate dedicated standalone help desk instance, then you also can integrate the knowledge base with the EOSC knowledge base. Still, I think we shouldn't overestimate the role of the knowledge base based on the plot which I showed. So, but I think it's useful. It will never replace the user interaction with humans, with in future probably with chatbots, advanced intelligent chatbots. But we need this foundation of the knowledge base to have it in any way.
Yeah, I just have an additional comment. This is not a session about how to manage help desks, but it's important to say that all knowledge base need curation. So we need to put in the table when we decide to have knowledge bases, that knowledge base need to be curated, because then we will have wrong information and it will not be a useful resource, because everyone likes knowledge base, but it's only in the first year.
Do we have more questions? Anything unexpected?
Nothing from Slido and nothing in the chat.
Okay, then I think we can conclude. I hope it was still useful, and don't hesitate to contact me via email or in any other means, also submitting tickets to EOSC. If you submit any ticket and point to Helpdesk, finally I will get it. Yeah, so thank you very much for your time, that you find the time, because now it's quite difficult with all the things running in parallel.
Thank you also from my side for joining the event. As promised, we shall upload the recording of this workshop as soon as possible, along with the slides. We shall contact you per email and let you know once that is done. We shall also provide you with some exit information that we would love for you to fill in due time. Thanks again for joining us. Look forward to further trainings on EOSC, and have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.